Hello everyone, Nadeem here with PC.Solutions.Net. I'm going to talk about multi-factor authentication today. Recently I've been getting a lot of questions about why multi-factor authentication, why is it important all of a sudden? One thing, there's a lot of hack attempts and phishing attempts going on where the bad guys want to get your credentials and then log into your accounts, get some information, change some information, get with your vendors, your partners, and basically get some money out of the deal. And it's pretty lucrative for them. So the way to avoid that is to have another factor of authentication. So even if your username and password gets compromised, the bad guys cannot log in to your accounts. A typical way this scam works is a user will get an email, they'll click on an email, it will auto log in into their web access. And once they log in, they're not realizing that the site is actually not Microsoft's site, it's some other site. So when they log in, the username and password gets captured. If there is no multi-factor authentication on the account, then basically the bad guys have full access to that account until the actual user notices something wrong, and then they start panicking and all kinds of stuff happen. And we've encountered people, I'm almost positive you know somebody who has fallen for this scam, and money was transferred to the wrong accounts, and then they had to kind of scramble to get that money back, which if you act quickly, you can get the money back. In most cases I've seen so far. But be advised, when you're talking to your bank to get the money back, you have to request it, don't demand it, because the banks do not have to comply to get that money back. They'll make a best effort basis, but there is no requirement from the government for the bank to get your money back. So just keep that in mind. So how does multi-factor authentication work? So basically you log in, you get another prompt, you put the PIN in, and you're away. You get going. You don't have to put the PIN in every time, and I think that's what trips a lot of people is, oh, I don't want to have my phone with me and put my PIN in every time. No, you don't have to put the PIN in every time. Your handhelds will automatically log in just like they do now. Nothing will change. Your Outlook on your PC nothing will change. It'll work just like it does. If you have Outlook web access that you use, it will keep working, because these applications will become a trusted application or a trusted device. Once you log in once with your PIN, that's it. You don't have to keep typing in your PIN every time you want to log in. Same thing with your iPad, iPhone, whatever you have. So, and I'm going to show you how that actually works. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my screen. Here, I'm going to do a couple of things. So first, let's open up Outlook. So I've already configured multi-factor authentication, right? And I've already configured my Outlook for it. I've already configured all my applications that I use with multi-factor authentication. So I'm going to just open up Outlook, and I want you to see that it's a seamless experience. You don't have to put in username, password, and PIN every time. So now, in this case, I normally don't use Outlook. You've probably heard me say that, so I normally don't use Outlook, but as you can see, it's it's a pretty standard way that it works. It's all connected down here, so everything works like it normally should, just like you never had anything different. You open Outlook, boom, it's there, it's connected. So that was Outlook. Now I'm going to leave that running because I don't normally run it, and it's syncing, so I'm going to let it sync. So now I'm going to open up Internet Explorer or Edge. I use Edge. I've upgraded, so I'm going to use Edge, which I normally use. So I'm in Edge, day in and day out, and you can see it remembers me. So this is what I use normally, right? So it just logged in. I didn't even have to put in my username, my password, or anything. So the Outlook, and it's the same one. See, that new email came in. Outlook and Edge, it's a seamless experience. Same thing with my handheld. I just use it like I normally do. So you don't have to worry about how the user will have to change anything. You don't have to change anything. Your behavior remains the same, but it gives you so many different levels of protection. I mean, it is so important that Microsoft will not give you partners benefits unless their accounts, the partner accounts, have MFA enabled on them. They're going that far, and not just for the admin users or the users who interact with Microsoft. Every person on that account has to have MFA enabled, or you cannot participate in the CSP program with Microsoft. It is that important. Now, of course, every major application out there, well, except one I can think of that everybody uses for finances, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, every major application out there that's worth anything is multi-factor, implement some kind of multi-factor authentication in there. Our Kaseya app does MFA. All the Office apps do MFA. Some of the banking apps, well, pretty much every banking app out there will do MFA. So there's pretty much every app out there should be doing MFA. Yeah, the company the name starts with an I, ends with a T. Yeah, they don't do MFA. They don't support MFA. They still require you to change passwords. By the way, it is proven that if you force users to change passwords every so often, they will write it down somewhere, and it is less secure of an account. So the recommendation from IT security experts is enable MFA, disable password expirations. That's the most secure way of doing it. So I'm going to keep it short. We'll talk tomorrow, but if you don't have MFA enabled, it is imperative. Do it. Otherwise, it's only a matter of time one of the accounts gets compromised. So I've seen it so many times, and I don't. It's a no-brainer. If an employee gives pushback, I'd be, if it was my employee, I would say, hey, you got to do this, or there's no other option. You can't work if we don't enable MFA on your account. Get over it. It's not that big of a hassle either. I mean, back in the day when the technology was still immature, it was a pain. Like every time you go to your browser to log in, you would have to put in the PIN in. There was no concept of trusted apps. Well, now there's a concept of trusted apps, so it makes life so much easier. Just do it. It's the right thing to do, and it keeps everybody safe and saves everybody hassle. And it's been proven over and over. I mean, I've seen, with customers where we have to go in and we have to clean stuff up. I mean, we've picked up a few customers like that because somebody got compromised and their customer got an email, and their customer happened to be our customer. So that's how we got in touch with them, and we had to go in and we had to clean it up, and just do it. So until tomorrow, everybody be safe, and we'll have something special tomorrow. And for all of you in the business owners meeting, we have something special next Thursday.